You guys ever been asked an estimation question? That's where they say like, okay, how many golf balls can fit inside this room? And they're dead serious. I need an answer to that. And it's like so stupid. Most technical people will think like, that's idiotic. I don't know the answer to that. Or they ask you like, like how much does the Eiffel Tower weigh, or something like that. And they're dead serious about this. This is part of like a technical evaluation. And the thing is what they're trying to do, like this is how stupid these people are. It's that they think that they're clever because they're saying, oh, well, if you really were like a technical person that knew your stuff, you would understand how to get a rough estimate of it. You would say, well, I don't know how much the Eiffel Tower weighs, but I know that steel weighs approximately this much. And I know the Eiffel Tower is, I don't know, about 300 feet tall? I don't know. Therefore, it must contain this much steel. Therefore, you multiply that by the weight or the density of steel. And it comes out to, I don't know, about 5,000 tons or something. So somewhere in that ballpark, it'll be about 5,000 tons, right? And they go, okay, then you're a good engineer. And it's like, what? That's so idiotic. That's the dumb person's version of what smart people can do, Or like how many tennis balls can fit into this room? Well, let's see, that wall is approximately, 10 feet by 9 feet by 12 feet. So therefore it's this volume. And we know that tennis balls occupy this much volume. So I don't know, you could probably get about, whatever it is, 5,000 tennis balls in here, based on that, right? And they go, okay, then your stuff as an engineer or an accountant or something. It's like, what? It's really stupid, but these are questions they ask. And they think that they're clever for asking these questions. And they think that it's a good test of someone's abilities. It totally backfires. Whether you're an accountant or an engineer or like a developer, like you write code or whatever, you're used to precision. You don't think in terms of like general approximations. You think of precision. And so these questions backfire because just a general estimate is not like any kind of answer in any of these professions. It's not even effective at finding the talented people. It's just stupid. Once you go and do research on job interviews and how they're done, and you learn about this tactic of of asking estimation questions, and you realize what they're trying to see if you can do, then you go, okay, that's actually pretty easy. But if you weren't even aware that they were asking these type of questions and you weren't tuned into like what they were looking for in an answer, it's unanswerable, It's so stupid. This is why, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there's a difference between being qualified for a job and being good at doing job interviews or putting yourself up for the job. There's two different things, two separate things. You can be totally qualified, but you can be ineffective at getting a job. Or you could be the opposite. You could be not that qualified for the job, but you're amazing at putting yourself forward for the job and getting selected for it. They're independent skills. Networking is the same. If you don't know how to do networking, you've never done networking, but you see people around you getting hired through networking constantly, and you're not getting hired, but they're hiring people through networking for the jobs you want, it's like, learn networking. If you're an introvert, learn about that stuff, how you can do it. It has nothing to do with how qualified you are for a job. People end up hiring the people that are the most likable and the ones they trust. That's aggravating as hell for technical people, right? But that's the reality. That's how humans behave. And you behave the same. If you want someone to help you move your furniture from one place to another, do you hire a complete stranger? No. You don't want them to walk off with your furniture. Oh, your furniture fell off the back of a truck and now it's missing. All your stuff with sentimental value. You don't want to give that to a stranger. You get someone you trust. That's the dumb people's version of what smart people can do. Unfortunately, I've been there in an interview. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You see, recruiters are not technical, generally speaking, because they studied HR. HR is not really that technical. It's about people and bureaucracy. So when they're hiring for technical roles, they're especially useless in a sense because they don't understand the subject matter of the jobs that they're hiring for, right? And they don't have the personalities for the jobs they're hiring for in those situations, usually. It doesn't affect what they're trying to do, though. You see, what they're trying to do is they're assessing you on things that you don't need to be technical for. You don't have to be a technical genius and knows accounting to determine which one of these candidates has an attitude problem, you know what I mean? Which one of these candidates is likable or not, and which one of these candidates, their story just doesn't check out. You don't need to know accounting to be able to detect those things, and that's what they're there to do, you see? The problem is when they get above themselves and they ask you about some kind of pseudo-technical question about accounting, or they start talking all about accounting as if they even know the basics of it, which they don't. You know what I mean? Then it's laughable hearing the stuff that comes out of their mouths sometimes. Oh, people. Okay, yeah, because that's right. That's what I said. Well, I'm glad you got a kick out of that. It's true, though, isn't it? I mean, that's why it's funny. It's funny because it's true.